interested in about attending academic camps at Duke. So there's a lot of gifted services connected with TIP, and if you were identified, you are asked to take the ACT or SAT as a 7th grader. It's not a 7th grade ACT. It's the ACT or the SAT. Now let me just tell you, if you've got one of those kiddos that wigs out over a vocabulary test in English every Friday, this is not for them because it's too much too soon. It's just too much too soon. And I say that to you after having done 7th grade about 12 or 15 times now. It's not for everybody. Okay? So when you get the information home, look at the website, consider it, but consider it for your child. It's not for everybody. If
that can be retaken, and that.
Oh, you or I could go take the ACT as long as we paid our $52. They don't care who you are as long as you're breathing and have money. Okay. You don't even have to show up. They just want your money. Truth be told. So take it if you choose to this year. It'll all be in the packet. Yeah. They've changed it a little bit. There are more options available now. But definitely in December and definitely in February. But I think there's an October date. But I'll have all of that for you in the letter. Now, I'm sending that home with your darlings. So if you don't get that, but you get a letter saying that he or she scored distinguished in math or reading, that's not on me. Talk to the darlings, because oftentimes they're like, I don't want to do this. I'm not showing this to Mom. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I just cannot mail everything home. If I mailed everything home that I need to get to you, we'd have to mortgage the school to pay postage.
Carlos Daniels, please come to the main office.
Typically, if you put my name on it or her name on it and seal it, it's more likely to get to me than if you leave it open.
Yeah. The biggest problem with that is there's, again, 206 of them and one of me, and then I've got labels and all the so at some point they've got to be responsible to bring stuff home to you. That's just the bottom line. Yeah, and like I know I'm preaching to the choir in here, but I'm saying what I'm supposed to say. Right. And one thing that you'll notice too, if I'm sending something home in mass, I'll send you a little one call. It's coming home today. And you'll be like, oh, where is that? No, I didn't get it. You're the only one out of 206 that didn't get it. So, yeah, I will send those. I'll send a little notice that I sent things home today, so be looking for them. Okay? Yes?
If they do decide to take the ACT, is it just for informational purposes?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with
Nope.
the ACT score?
Nope. No school will ever see it unless you choose to release it. Now, when my son was in 7th grade, he was in this class of geniuses. They had 5 National Merit Scholars in a class of 148 kids. And he had a buddy that scored 32 in the 7th grade.
Oh, my gosh.
When he was in 9th grade, maybe 10th, he scored 35. But, I mean, if you get a score like that, I wouldn't pay to take it again. I'd just be done. And I think that when you apply to schools, it has to be within a certain amount of time that you've taken it. But if you can score 32 in the 7th grade, you're probably pretty good, even in 10th grade.
But if they take it and score a 22, it's not like anyone's ever going to...
No, they will. That's only for your information. And that's another thing. If your child does take it, have that conversation with them. This is a test normed for high school, college-bound juniors. 4 years ahead of you, college-bound. So, if you get a 12 in English, okay, you do have to do your English homework. We've got some work to do. If you get a 30 in English in 7th grade, you still have to do your homework because you got to graduate, but maybe we're good, okay? So, I mean, all of these things are just conversations. And if you're not sure what conversation to have, that's where I come in. Ask me. That's essentially, other than being here, being an advocate for your child and being a lunchroom supervisor, That's my job, is to answer questions for you and help you figure out educational decisions and pathways for your kids. Does anybody have any questions that I haven't answered? Yes, ma'am.
Regarding the test, I've got 2 kids, 3 that have test anxiety. Do you suggest they start working on the ACTs earlier than later, just to get acclimated and used to
If you
testing?
have a child that has test anxiety, yes, I would. There are books that you can buy. There's a red book called The Real ACT that has old tests that have been released. They can do it online. There's some free online tests at ACT.org, but it's just like anything else. The more they see it, the more commonplace it becomes. I mean, that's why we do batting practice. That's why we have practice for anything. You know, if you want to be a better golfer, you don't go swim. You've got to golf. So if testing is an issue for you, then absolutely you need to be practicing that test. Any other questions? Anything specific to what's going on for us so far? Yes, ma'am.
I have another question on the ACT. Is it online or is it a written test?
It's the paper and pencil. Yeah. And let me just say, too, we've kind of had a rash of, different, like my child needs special services for the ACT, so let me get started in 6th grade. ACT is a 50-plus-year-old organization. They know that. They're not handing out extended time like candy. Now, I will tell you, when I first started in '99 as a counselor, I could have gotten you extended time because your eyes were brown, pretty much. No longer. It has to be major, major, major. I mean, you more or less have to have like some kind of major issue identified by 3 different physicians over 10 years. I mean, it's got to be major. Any other questions? No? Okay. I have your child's ILP access and your access to their ILP. I am going to go back here to a table. I started stapling these together last night. I know you guys have families of your own, and some of you will totally get this, but we have a little rescue dog, and every time I clipped the stapler, he just shook. I mean, it was horrible. So I said, well, I'll just go up to the dining room. My husband said, you got to stop. He's still shaking. And every time I would I don't know if somebody beat him with a stapler or what the deal was, but so I don't have them all stapled together, but I do have them all, but it's Bogey's fault. And since I'm his mama, I will take full blame for that because I just couldn't do it to the little guy. I mean, hair was flying everywhere, and he doesn't even shed. So whatever it was that was so traumatic for him, it was not good. But I do have those. If you've not, we don't really focus a lot on the ILP in 6th grade because everything is overwhelming in the 6th grade. I will tell you, it is one of the best tools I have ever seen as an educator in my entire career. There is a college database on there to rival no other. It is like an electronic resume that they can use forever and ever and ever. Can you imagine not having to go back and recreate your resume when you need it? I mean, it's awesome. You can scan in certificates that they get. You can scan in if they got a really nice letter from someone that they did something for, a nice thank you. You can scan that in. You can log community service hours. It's fantastic. And again, you can't break it. So just go in and play with it. I've got all of the information. The ILP is the individual learning plan. And it is basically a career tool to help them explore different careers. And I gave you a letter about it, and I've got your access right here. So I will head back that way and take the little cards with me, and I have my cards that have my email and contact if you need anything else. If you don't have time for me to give you your access today, then I'm going to send it home with the rest of the students whose parents didn't attend tomorrow. So you'll get it either way. Well, I hope you'll get it either way, but if you want it today, I've got it for you. Okay? Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate it. Do you have any last questions?
I'll hang around up here if you have questions for me.
Quick question.
Yes.
I need to reset my Barret portal. Would I talk to you or somebody at the front desk?
I think you can reset it online.
Well, my email changed, and I can't remember. I mean, I tried.
Okay,
And
okay.
it's
Yeah,
just-
Miss Daniels in the main office. She's our guru on that, so she can take care of it. Okay, let me take this back here, and I will be glad to help you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let me turn this off. I don't know how to turn it off.
I'm going to keep following you around your room.
I know, right?